Hello, and welcome to the next episode of the Spirit and Soul Podcast. I am your host, Tiffany Cohen, and today we have an extra special guest with us. We have Erica Polsinelli from Evolve by Erika, and she is such an important person in my life, such a good friend of mine, and I'm so excited to have you here. So, Erica, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here too.
So excited that you're here. Erica, you have so much going on right now. You are doing such beautiful things in the world. Please tell everybody a little bit about you, what you have going on, and how you got started and everything.
Thank you. I just want to restate how excited I am to be here and be with you. I love our time together so much, and I feel so grateful that we've been led together. Like, I'm trying to think back, like, how did we even come to be? But it doesn't even matter because we're here now. And I just feel so grateful for your friendship and your guidance, and really appreciate you.
I'm so grateful for you. Now, really, I love watching. I love you. I love watching you grow. All the things, amazing things that you're doing, and I'm glad that we can be on this journey together. Yeah. So tell everybody about you.
Okay, so I am someone who struggled with anxiety most of my life until I found a practice that really saved me from myself, from my mind, from the negative thought loops that I was constantly in. I do believe a lot of how I lived was learned. I felt like I learned to worry. I learned to think negative. I learned to try to control life by thinking of the worst case scenario, because that would prevent something from happening.
Yeah.
And I came to this point in my life where I really needed to change. And I realized that instead of creating a life I wanted, I'm spending so much time focusing my energy on everything I did not want. And I found a practice. It's Kundalini Breathwork meditation, Kundalini yoga, that just changed everything for me. I started with a really short practice each morning before I went to elementary school to be a teacher. That was my previous job. And I would just spend a little bit of time every morning practicing, and it made the biggest difference. So it led me to want to understand more of what was going on and how this could be so impactful and so transformative. So I did. I went, I learned, I trained for 9 months, and I went with the intention of oh, no, I'm not going to be a yoga teacher. I'm not going to be a spiritual teacher. I just want to know how something could have turned my life around, completely turned my life around. And then day 2 of training, I was like, well, here's the plot twist. I guess I am going to teach, because day 2, I got the biggest download of how I was going to teach, how I was going to share. And that download was actually what would become the Evolve app, where I share meditations and teachings that can help transform your day by starting your morning with them. And most recently, I got that next urge to open a physical space where we could have community events, and it's called the Space by Evolve. It's been so exciting, so much fun, and you definitely helped me to see that it's always worth pushing past the fear and really listening, because we have nothing to lose. When it's aligned, when our intuition is guiding us, we literally have nothing to lose, and we just have to go for those visions that are being brought.
Yeah. And if it's in your field and it's meant for you, and you were talking about this for years.
I was just thinking back to the last one. I remember you telling me how you knew this place was for you. You had a moment where you were like, okay, we're going to do this. And that was, almost 2 years ago that we're talking about that, because I've been wanting to do this for a while.
Yeah. I remember when you were it was all right, well, I keep getting this, but I don't know. And I'm do it. And then, it just, you have to obviously find, it's got to be right for you. You have to find the right place. And I feel like the space is so beautiful. It's so you.
Thank you.
It really is. It's so energetic, and it's really incredible when you do sit and wait and allow. It's really allowing, and you allow this to come to you in the way that it was meant for you, and not just charging forward and just saying I'm just going to make it work. I'm just going to make it work. It's no, you waited and you found the exact place that was meant for you. And it's you can see it in the amount of people that are just coming in immediately in droves, so excited to share this with you and to be in it with you. And I just like, honestly, being there on the first night that you were open, it was so beautiful to watch because, you know, I'm sitting back and I'm watching you and I'm watching everybody and I'm just like, damn, like she did it. Like she created something that people have been waiting for. So I'm so excited for you, for your community. I'm so happy to be part of your community, but it's so beautiful. If you guys haven't been, please make sure you head on over and like book yourself one of the amazing classes that they have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. It feels surreal.
Yeah.
And I remember you saying, like, once you have a physical space, it's just going to take you to another level. And it has in some way, because I've always felt so connected to the app and everything we do there. I was teaching out of an office in my house. And there's just been such a shift after getting the space. And I also feel that the space waited for me. So you're really like emphasizing that, like, I wasn't pushing. I was in talks with them, I think late September, and I didn't end up signing the contract till late January. Wow. Like, I really gave a lot of space to be like, is this really for me? And I left the opportunity. If someone else was meant to get it, I was like, I stepped back. And it just felt like the right time.
And it was, and that's what happens. I feel like it calls to you. Like when a space is meant for you, it calls to you, and that's it. Like this space too, it was somebody had it. It was somebody else's, and then I was like, if you're meant for me, find me. And the next day we got the phone call. It was like, it's almost like you have to give it the permission to allow it to come into your life. It's like, yeah, we're a match, but like, are you ready for me? Mm-hmm. And like you were. Yeah. And I love it. And it's like you're just getting started with all the beauty that's going to happen there. It's so amazing.
And the beautiful thing that and experience here is the community aspect. Like, community is everything. And I was just driving the other day being like, pinch me. Like, we have a spiritual hangout, like a place we could all come and be our woo-woo spiritual people that, like, we don't really feel we can do with just everyone. Like, a lot of us have families that accept us for who we are, but they're not like getting on our level in that way, or even friendships, like a lot of friends, but they're not really like the spiritual friends. And it's a space for that. And I know Spirit and Soul is that for you and so many too.
Yeah. And I think that's why spaces like ours are so important, because the spiritual journey can feel very lonely.
Yeah.
And that's it. It's because you have people that, I mean, it's been, you know, kind of looked at as like, oh, because you can't see it, you know, you can't see the things that are happening. It's hard to believe it. And you have some people that just don't. And then you have some people that, like, truly it is, they get it. They remember. And it's about the remembering, right? Yeah. So they remember and they're like, okay, yeah. But then there are so many people in my life that don't remember, and they don't know how to have these conversations. I don't know how to talk about a download. I don't know how to talk about a dream that I had that felt so real. And it's like, yeah, but these are the spaces that you do this in. Like, that's why it's so important to have these safe spaces for people to know that they're not alone on this journey.
Yeah, I think that's the most special part.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, I love it. I love it so much. So talk to us about, because if anybody's never heard about like Kundalini breathwork and yoga, can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah. So Kundalini yoga meditation they refer to it as the express train to higher consciousness. So if you want to get somewhere and you want to do it quickly, it's a meditation practice that can really help bring very fast changes. Mm-hmm. And I think that's why I was so amazed by it, because I'm the type of person where if I know something's going to work, I'm going to do it. If I feel the benefit of it, I'm going to show up for it and do it. And I was practicing each morning for just 3 minutes, but I felt an immediate shift. What I thought I was finally experiencing calmness, and that's all I came for. I was desperate to feel calm and safe in my body because I was living in fight or flight. My root chakra was so out of balance. I literally had Vinny like looking at my butt because I had pain there. It was so dense. Oh, like, what is something there? What's happening? He's like, nothing. My root, that's how really imbalanced I was. I was in such a state of fear. And when I started practicing, I just experienced an immediate shift. And that is what can come from Kundalini. When I first started practicing now, many people weren't. And our collective consciousness was in a very different space then. So now, so many more people are open to our work, and the energy on the planet right now is even more supportive of the work that we're doing. People are more available to it. There's less density they have to work through. The veil is thinner, and they have even more access to these shifts, and they happen very quickly. So it's a combination of mantra. We always tune in with a mantra, sound, frequency, breath work, movement, meditation. And those are all modalities. And of course, working with intention through it as well. And those are all modalities to move energy. And it's utilizing all of the modalities to move energy, which helps us to just be really efficient in moving our energy. Yeah. And taking any density and pulling it up. So the Kundalini energy is known to be energy that resides at the base of the spine. And in order to awaken it, we have to do something to awaken it. Your work can help awaken it. Reiki can help awaken it. Yoga can help awaken it. Meditation. And then, of course, Kundalini will help awaken the Kundalini energy. And when we awaken it, instead of the energy being at our lower chakras, living from a state of fear, having so much emphasis on the lower chakras, it actually starts to move through the system. All of a sudden, we have this free-flowing energy through us. We become more creative. Our heart opens, our third eye opens, our voice activates, our crown opens, we're receiving messages. That's the energy moving through our system, opening up our energy centers, and then it resides at the solar plexus, helping us to take action in our life and aligned action. So that's a little bit about the practice. And traditionally speaking, Kundalini, it would be taught in a 90-minute class, typically in person, and there would be a lot of different movements and breath works, and some that you're like, well, what am I doing? It's very odd sometimes, some of the movements, some of the postures, some of the breath works. And the purpose of those odd movements and those repetitive movements is actually to break the programs, disrupt the programs, because we're running multiple programs, and we're running on these programs that have been set within us by ourselves, by society, by our parents, by our ancestors. And what the practice allows us to do is actually disrupt and be like, wait a minute, what is mine? What's aligned to my soul and my truth? Does this still feel aligned? Or am I actually going to do a complete 180 and shift to this new program? And yeah, that's what it does. And I teach it in a very approachable way. It doesn't have to be done for 90 minutes. It doesn't have to be done in person. You can, again, practice for just a few minutes. I always recommend in the morning, because that's going to really create the trajectory of energy for your day, and great changes come from there.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm huge into my morning ritual. So I really think that meditating in the morning is so powerful. The meditation that you do is incredible. I've done it in the mornings, and it is phenomenal. I've done through your app, obviously. And you feel different in your day from this, because it is that movement. It's bringing more air it's bringing air in a different way. So it really awakens you, and then the movements with it and the chanting, which I just love. I just love chanting. Honestly, I think it's really freaking powerful to kind of tap into this energy, that it's a frequency that's there through however many people have said it, probably millions of people over the course of time. And you're tapping into this energy frequency of chanting. There's nothing like it. I love it.
And the oxygenation of our cells, like you're saying, it feels like you're bringing air in a different way. I remember when I first started practicing, my soul remembered this. My soul remembered. I would be chanting these things I did not even understand. My intuition would be like, do not worry about those things. Just do it and see how it feels, and concentrate on how you feel, not what you're thinking about or analyzing.
Yeah.
And when we're bringing so much prana into the system, oxygen or prana is life, and we're literally bringing vitality in. So the brain fog we all feel just by living in these times, it becomes lifted, because we're literally bringing the breath and the oxygen to that space. And with mantra, so it's like our own instrument of sound frequency. It lives within us, and our palette actually has spaces on it which is an input to our brain.
It's
So
amazing.
these sacred mantras, yes, there's a literal translation, but you don't even need to understand it. I'm all about it. Like, I love knowing the intention of mantras. I love knowing the meaning to everything. But the truth is, with these mantras, they hold so much energy. It's more about what you're experiencing and what it's unlocking within you. And a lot of the time, what it's unlocking is oneness. Oneness, you go into your practice and you feel, maybe you go in because you have something heavy you're dealing with or an issue or what you're focusing on that you think is a problem, and you come out and you're all of a sudden like, it's a non-issue. All of a sudden you see yourself in a different light. You feel so empowered because the separation is gone. So what we're doing is we're truly connecting to the space of oneness within ourselves, tapping into the home within ourselves, our soul, our truth, and then also one another, because we're all connected. It's like the iCloud. So we're like dipping in, we're going into this space where we're all connected. And then we come out and we're like, oh my God, the world is focusing on what BS? Like, that's not even real in my frequency, in my field, in my energy. The other thing I wanted to say was when you said like how powerful it is, the practice works the 10 bodies. I don't know if you're familiar with the 10 bodies.
Please tell me more.
I feel like you would geek out over this.
Yeah.
So we have our physical body, which is one body, but there's actually 10 bodies. Some of them are the neutral mind, the positive mind, the negative mind, the aura, the pranic body, and there are 5 more that I'm not listing right now. So what this practice does is actually activates not just us in this dimension and realm, but it activates every part of us energetically. And it helps us to align to the highest version of ourselves. So the negative mind can sometimes be out of balance. How do we know the negative mind is out of balance? We have an abundance of negative thoughts.
Yeah.
So the practice will help to find balance between the negative, positive, and neutral minds. Why do we need a neutral mind? Because everything comes from a space of neutrality. We need to be able to come back to that space of absolute neutrality to attract, to manifest, to find balance. So it also helps with all of that.
That's amazing. And it actually makes me think of like, there's many different ideas, right? Of this, like, what is outside of the most dense part of our energetic field, which is our physical body. And I feel like no matter what way you look at it, whether it's through like the 10 bodies or whether like in spinal, it's one thing, in integrated energy therapy, it's another thing, but they're all so freaking similar. And it's like, just tap into that. It's an understanding. And it's like almost like we can agree that there is more than just the physical body. And right there, it's like, that's all that we need to know. And as you activate it through the Kundalini breath work, that's amazing that you can tap into all those frequencies, because also what those energetic parts of yourself, because then what you're making it available to, like Erica said, manifesting. And also I feel like the healing aspect that comes from it, because you're clear, it's almost like you're like breaking through, like in spinal, how you like break through and unlock those energetic frequencies. I feel like you're able to do the same thing with this work.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's been so many times where I've been like, holy moly, this is like the best therapy I've ever experienced, because you're being shown maybe the obstacles that you have been through or would have gone through, but you're able to have this awareness. They actually call it the practice and yoga of awareness, because it brings you this higher perspective and you become more of an observer of your life. And that's what we want to be. We want to be more of an observer than like in it and being super reactive. We want to be able to zoom out and be like, okay, let's take a look here.
Yeah.
And let's see how to navigate this in the highest way.
Yeah.
But it's so true. I think with all of this energy work, it's all the same but different.
Yeah. All the same but different.
It's
I'm noticing that.
Right? And just finding what works for you.
Yeah. What is your truth?
That's it.
And it can be multiple, and you can take
Yes.
it and you can make it yours.
Yes.
I actually don't like, Victoria and I were having this discussion. I don't like when it's like dictated to you how you can create a truth within yourself. And it's like, no, you have to do it this way. And it's like, yeah, but I'm actually called to bring this in and create this within myself because that's what makes me feel good.
Yeah.
Right. And like that's my truth. So I love that you kind of like also took it and made it your own as well. You're like, this is my truth. I need shorter ones. I don't need 90 minutes all the time. Sometimes I only have 20, and you're taking it and like grounding it down. Yeah.
And there's so much medicine in it. And honestly, if it had to be 90 minutes, if it had to be where we're all wearing white, if we had to dress a certain way, I just think, of course, like I'm down for the respect of the practice and the lineage and all the traditions that come with it.
Yeah.
And we're living in a modern time where we need access to things that are going to support our nervous system. And this is a really potent way that we can get it. And it doesn't need to be that long.
No,
it really doesn't.
Yeah. I also think too that we're in a time where the energy is elevated so much where time like collapses a little bit. And if you're working, especially in that, like, it's almost like we're heading towards this, like, I don't want to say quantum because obviously there's intention that goes into that, but there is this level where the energy is like, it's like collapsing the time of what you need. So like, I even noticed that in like my, my healings where what would normally be like an hour was like 30 minutes. And I'm like, we're good. I
think it also depends on the work that the person's been doing too. And you can notice that.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
But it's really true. And that goes back to being in the age of energy. The energy is literally supporting us. The veil is thinner. There's less density for some of us who are doing the work that we really need to work through. And I completely feel that and see that too.
Yeah.
And what is time? That's the other thing.
Exactly.
You know? And when we're really in that space of energy, we go into that place where time doesn't exist and we're able to do whatever we need. But I think it's like a muscle that we can really work to be able to get there quicker. And then our space, I was actually just sharing this on Instagram yesterday and today. Now that I have this space, I feel how supportive it is to help people drop into meditation. And I think Gaia shared, there's been a study done where you meditate will actually hold the memory and the frequency of what's been done there. So it's in our best interest to meditate in the same space every day because that space has a memory of the frequency and it's going to help you drop right in. So in my house, I meditate in the same spot every day. At the space, I meditate in the same spot and teach at the same spot every day. And it's just like temples or mosques or churches where people can go and feel like they really can drop in. It's because all the frequency that has been there before, it remembers that, it holds it. So that's also really supportive. So in your room, when you're doing healings, like the room knows what's going on too. And it's like you could just drop in. That person can probably feel that as well.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah. And like people that haven't, even ever received a healing before, so much easier for them to like have that release because they're being supported by all the energetic frequency that has come before and it's holding that space.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that. I actually meditate in the same spot too in my house. I have two spots actually. One is in the sometimes I like it dark, nice and dark in the room. And then sometimes I like to be in the light. So like I have in the sunlight. So like I'll sit by a window. But like either way,
I have two spots.
Yes.
No other spot.
Yeah.
Like no other spot too.
No.
And that's, And because I've meditated in both of them.
Yeah.
Created that space there.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what is like keeps playing in my mind, how you were talking about separation. So I think that is so important for people to truly understand because we all, and this is like a big, big thing with through healing is like, we all feel this separation. And I think we struggle with this separation because we're separated from source. Even though we're not separated from source, we feel like it, right? And I think that doing a practice that reminds you that you are one has so many benefits, not even just on a collective level where you can meet people where they're at, where sometimes like maybe you won't judge somebody because you can feel into that or connected energy, or you can see them from a different light. But I think even in manifesting, it's really important because the whole thing with manifesting, right, is that like you want something and you see that you are separate from it. right? And now you have to work towards it in order to bring it into you, right? Like this is what we learn. But if you can understand through this type of practice that you're actually not separate from anything, how much does that freaking close the gap? Yeah. And you're manifesting all the time. You're manifesting beautiful things. So like, how do you feel like that works into the practice? Like, do you feel like I got something here or what?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. When we go into that space, it really does close the gap because all of a sudden we have this wholeness within ourselves. That's the first step. I think for us to truly feel connected to one another, we have to feel connected to ourselves and our soul. And when you feel whole and complete, everything else feels very less far away because you're not grasping at anything. When you're whole and complete on your own, you're in a space to attract. And it certainly does close the gap. And you can then spend time in that space once you've tapped into it within, like thinking about what you want to bring in and knowing that, of course, you're worthy of it. And you can sit in that quantum field and that quantum space and just feel into it, feel the gratitude for something that maybe you don't have yet in the 3D realm, but you can feel so deeply into in that frequency. So I completely feel that. And I think it also, like you said, on a collective level, we're able to tap in and be able to really see that we're all a lot more alike than we are different, no matter what like social media tries to portray or the news or the politics or whatever it may be that's trying to separate us that day. And knowing how similar we truly are and how based off of that and that feeling we can honor everyone's differences, because it's like, okay, yours is just showing up this way and this is really important to you and relevant to you, and I have things because of my experiences in life that are super important to me. Yours might be different than mine. I might disagree with you, but I value yours and I respect yours because it's based off your experience, and I hope you could value mine and I respect mine. And yeah, that interconnectivity, it can help bring things into life, bring things into your life, and also increase compassion and awareness for one another.
Yeah, I think one of the most powerful things that I ever heard was that everybody has their own truth.
Yeah.
Like there is actually there is no truth. Mm-hmm. And at first when I heard that, I was like, disagree.
Yeah.
And then I like really sat with it. Uh-huh. And I was like, yeah. Yep. There is actually no truth. I think we can all agree on many truths, right? Like what is moral and things like that. And then you're going to have people that say, that's not my truth. Yeah. Because they have different experiences and backgrounds and all these things. And again, we don't have to agree with it because that might not be our truth, but someone feels like it's their truth for whatever reason. And because of their experiences or whatever's going on within themselves. And it's like, okay, that is their truth and we don't have to agree, but we can do our best to respect it. Yeah. You know, or to meet them where they're at least, even if we don't respect it, to meet where they're at and say, yeah, it's unfortunate that they feel that way, think that way, but you know.
It's so true.
Yeah. And I think it brings on more compassion for people. Again, like I always like sit with that because compassion is sometimes very hard to find because we're in such judgment, I think. But I think, you know, any kind of spiritual practice, like the breath work and like all things like that's going to help you to access it a little bit more easily through your day.
Because you're coming from your ego a lot less, and you're coming from that heart-centered space a lot more.
Yeah.
When you start to drop into the heart and really feel that, things aren't as serious. You really are not quick to judge because who cares?
Yeah, who cares?
And why? And like, why would you spend your time that way?
Yeah.
And also being able to hold multiple perspectives and see past just like that top layer of what typically we would just like see and judge for what it is. And there's so much more than that surface.
Yeah. And I think it's like, you know, it's so easy to judge, right? That's what we're taught. We're like, it's like a learned thing is judgment. And I think that was actually the first thing when I was on my spiritual like path. And like, it was just like a thing that I did. I was like, I'm going to challenge myself to actually not judge myself. That when I looked in the mirror, I wouldn't judge me. And that was really difficult. It was like a difficult thing to start, but then once I did it, I found it so easy. Then it was like, well, I will not judge others now. And then I started this whole thing. And now I just think that, we can actually come to a place where we don't have to be judgmental. We can witness differences. I think that's important to say, like, okay, well, maybe I wouldn't do that or whatever. But, and we kind of step back and say, but that person's hurting, or that person's, again, they have a different truth. And I think it just makes it a little bit more, it makes life more palatable, I feel like, rather than in this like constant conflict or discord.
I feel like in my personal life, the people I've known that have judged others so harshly are actually judging themselves. Like it all comes from that. And I've seen that. And that has, instead of me judging them for being judgmental towards others, I'm like, I have such compassion because I know that I come from this place. And hopefully when you stop judging yourself and learning to love yourself and find that confidence within, you're going to be so less interested in judging other people.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. This is such a powerful practice that Erica teaches. Like, if you guys haven't experienced it, you have to experience everything that she has through the app, coming and doing everything in person at the space. It really can shift your life if you allow it to. I actually remember, and it's interesting because you mentioned too that it's there to like disrupt. No matter what, whenever I do it, there is a point for me where I feel uncomfortable or I feel that discomfort. Yeah. So like, I remember you're like, come up to like the front, like sit by me. So I'm like, okay, so I'm sitting there and like forgetting what I'm about to do. And then I'm like, I felt like everybody around me was doing it. And I was like, oh my God, this feels hard. And I'm like, no, but I can do it. And I did every single thing. I was like so proud of myself, but there was.
How good does that feel? So freaking good.
So freaking good.
And it's so real. Like something I loved so much when I first started practicing was the challenge, was how physical it was, because the body, the ego is so quick to be like, you can't do this. And then you're like, actually, I can. And I'm going to. Yeah, and like you push through that one point where you want to give up. And of course, there's a time where sometimes we need like a break to take a breath and relax our arms if we're doing one of those super intense postures. But when you break through in that moment, there's like inner strength that all of a sudden becomes downloaded in you. And you're like, I can do anything. And then you get off your mat and in life, you're like, oh, this is a challenge and I can figure it out. Like, no problem. And I love the challenge. Like, I love it.
I loved it. I love it. I love it. I do too. I love it. And like, I pushed myself because I was at the front, and I was like, I'm going to do it. Even though nobody's watching me, I'm watching me. I feel like everyone's eyes. And I remember at one point I was like, I don't have the coordination to do this. And
what were you doing?
We were doing the one where it was like, this.
So hard.
And look, I can do it now, I think.
No, but it's so hard.
To breathe at the same time.
It feels like patting your head and like
yes.
So this is for imagined disabilities. So disabilities we impose on ourselves where we're like, we can't do that. We're unable to do things like this or whatever it may be. It's a 3-part exercise that helps you to rid yourself of anything imagined that's limiting you.
And it did. No, it did.
I love it.
It did, because I'm telling you, like, I was there and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I don't have this type of coordination. And that was, I think, my disability.
That was very hard.
And then, but I feel like I just did it now. So, like, obviously, yeah. Okay, someone make it do it for again. Unless I'm sitting with you and doing it, meditating. No, but I actually loved it. Like, I was trying it again when I went home. I was like, no, I think I can do this now. I could do it now. And like, I was really like trying it when I got home, and I feel like it pushed me. And I think that it taps into, and I was thinking of this, and I never told you this, but I was thinking of this. It's like, one of my mentors, Erica, he says like, the ego screams the loudest. I know he's not like the creator of this, but the ego screams the loudest when you're at like the top of the mountain, right? And I feel like that's what happened, it like kind of like broke through. And like once you get to the top, he was like telling the story how he used to take people to up to the top of Mount Kilimanjaro. And there was 95% of the people would want to give up, and there was only like a few steps to go. They couldn't see the other side of it, and they wanted to give up. And then he would be like, "No, like come on." And they would be like, "No, I can't see the top anymore. This is ridiculous. I can't do it." And then all of a sudden they would push through. And I was like kind of thinking of that. I was like, wow, like this, once you like push through it, you feel so freaking good. Like you accomplish that. And if you can do that, you can do anything. And it's like, and it's just like a metaphor for life. It really is. It is a metaphor through the breath for life. You can do anything that you put your mind to, but you can't give up on yourself. You have to push yourself sometimes. People give up at the foot when they need to push themselves because they don't want to, they want to be in their comfort zone.
Or like right before the miracle, like giving up right before the miracle comes through.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I love that so much about the practice. And it is a metaphor for life. And it's like life can challenge the crap out of us. And the practice, I always say, it makes you like a spiritual warrior. Like you get this inner wisdom, inner knowing, inner strength that when you are going through the hardest times, you know better than to fall victim. You know better than to become bitter. We were just talking about this.
Yeah.
Like over the past 2 years, I was telling Tiffany how it was such a hard time in my life. And there were so many moments where I was like, Erica, you're not going to be proud of yourself if you fall victim. You're not going to be proud of yourself if you stay bitter, because although you can't see it now, it's happening for you. And when it happens for you, you want to be very proud of all past versions of you. So I hold myself to high standards, and I think we all probably do here as a community. And it's building that inner wisdom and strength. And it really has provided me with this integrity, this strength, this knowing that I don't know if I would have without the practice and without the challenge of the practice. And that's just like life. I was just also sharing with Tiffany how I've been very challenged over the past 2 years, and how as much as it's so annoying and I'm done with it, I am so grateful to the challenge, because it sounds cheesy, but I say this with every cell of my body. It has helped me truly become this version of me that I would not be if I didn't have this obstacle that I was experiencing. So it's certainly a metaphor for life. And I think it's fun to be able to have like this little hack to gear up. Like we do workouts every day. So many of us are working on our physical body to be strong, but it's like, are we taking care of our mental capacity? Are we taking care of our nervous system and being able to prime it so that when challenges come our way, we're able to truly face it as the highest version of ourselves? Because challenges will trigger us. Challenges will bring out past versions of ourselves that we're like, oh, this was healed, but now that this challenge is here, I'm resorting right back to my old ways. And it's like, no, we don't do that.
Yeah.
We could, but we have the choice. And I think meeting yourself to the practice and tapping into your truth helps you to see that in every moment, you actually have a choice. And it's annoying sometimes to sit with that and be like, well, right now I want to just be pissed off. And you can. Yeah. And you can take time for that. But I always say, how long am I going to spend there? Because that's the energy I'm going to sit in, and that's the energy I'm going to attract. Yeah. So I need to sit with it. I need to feel it. And then I need to use my tools to move through it. And my people and my, all the things that can help me shift.
Absolutely. And I think that's what makes it real, right? It's like understanding that you're going to, like, we go through things in life where things are going to piss you off. And like, that's okay, because that's a human part of you. Yeah. But then how long do you sit in it? How long are you pissed off? And again, like Erica said, that's all choice, right? Like you can choose to be pissed as long as you want. That's your life, your choice. Or you can choose to witness the feelings, sit in them for a little bit, maybe feel like all that energy inside, and then say, okay, I'm done with this. Because you have the tools to do it. You have the tools to move through it, and maybe move through it through breathwork, a spiritual practice, a ritual, maybe lighting a candle just grounds you back into yourself, whatever it is, but meet yourself where you are and experience that from the human aspect and then bring that soul aspect in, because you don't want to be at the end of the day or the end of the week or the month or whatever it is and sitting back and saying, I'm not going to do that. That was so unlike me. I knew better. I was past that. And you reverted to this old version of you because you reacted from a place, from like an old wound.
Yeah.
You know,
Exactly.
I don't know. I just think this, I know, you know, obviously this work is just so important. It really is, to move through life and to bring more light, I think, into the world.
Yeah.
It needs it.
It also helps to peel back layers, like you said before, of things that we've held on to from the past. So it's kind of like peeling back an onion and really clearing a lot of what we were holding, a lot of past versions of ourselves. And also to activate the energy and the light within ourselves. Because before I found this practice, I really wasn't open or available to any other types of energy work. And I realized once I activated this in me, I could go to a yoga class and receive so much more, because this was the key I needed to unlock my energy and really have access to that energy within me. So I think all the modalities, like you might have your one modality, but dabble and see what other ones you're guided to. If it's coming up for you, it's for a reason. I always say when I hear about it like twice or three times, I'm like, it's poking at me. I should try it, because you never know what it's going to reveal to you.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it is important to try all different things if you're called to it. You know, like Erica said, like if you know, you hear it 2-3 times and you're like, okay, let me like see what this is about. It's calling to you for a reason.
Yeah.
You know, and it might unlock something within you. So I think like having all of these tools in your toolbox is important to move through different things in your life, and different things in your life are going to require a different tool.
Yep.
Right? Like you can't just use like one tool to fix everything. It's got to be like a multitude of things. And I feel like whenever I am feeling like a little like I need that power within, like I will turn to one of your meditations and I'll be like, okay, let me like activate this inner warrior here and like really like hang on and like grab that energy, you know. Or if like I feel like I need like a little like pick me up, like your meditations do that, because it just brings in that life force. So I feel like that's like, so this is such a beautiful tool in the toolbox. If you guys haven't experienced it, make sure that you're checking it out. You're checking out Erica's app. You're checking out the space, because it can really be something that brings a whole new level of healing and of peace into your life. Truly peace. Yeah.
And it is super empowering, like you said. It's kind of just handing your power back to you. I think you have so much within you.
Yeah.
And that's when we tune in to start with Om Namo Gurudev Namo. It means I bow to the divine power within. So you're actually honoring all of that energy and power that lives within you. And at first, when you're chanting it, you might be like, I don't know what I'm saying. I don't know what this is. And then eventually you actually start feeling it. And you're like, oh, okay. Hello, power within. Here we are. And there's been so many times where I had to teach, whether it was corporate or in schools or for parents, people that wanted a meditation or yoga class. And I'm like, am I going to chant the mantra? Because, you know, mantra's a little, like I know to your community, none of this I don't think is right, but to other outside communities, I'm like, ooh, how are they going to feel about this? And what I've noticed so much is there's such a special element that the mantra brings. And I think what makes the practice so powerful is really honoring all parts of it. And it's kind of something you just have to experience.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? One of the most beautiful moments, and I got it on video when I sent it to you. I think I know. One of the most beautiful moments that I've ever experienced in anything that I've done, and I've done a lot of things. One of the most beautiful moments was you had us sing this beautiful song, and I didn't know the words. Yeah, I did not know the words to the whole song. Yeah, and everyone was singing it around me, and it was enlightening. That's the only word that I can kind of describe it. It was like beautiful, obviously, but there was an enlightenment that came with it, of a community of people singing together, and it was so beautiful. That's why I had to like grab the phone and like record this moment for you. Because it was touching, you know, and I feel like it lit everybody up in like a different way. I think it hit the heart space in a different way. It truly was like such a powerful moment. So thank you.
Maybe
for
we
that.
could link. Oh, thank you. I'm so glad you were part of it. Maybe we can link that mantra in the show notes.
Yeah, absolutely.
It is the mantra that we open with for every meditation, but this time it's like in a song with an artist who has a beautiful voice singing it. And the space called for its first meditation to have that in it. Like the space actually was like, we need that. And that's the foundation of the practice, that mantra. And it really is turning everyone back to the power within themselves. And that's what I'm all about. That's what my teachings are about, is like awakening that and knowing you have everything you need within you. And all we need very often is the key to unlock it. And it's finding the modality and the tools that help you to do that. And just by singing that mantra, you feel something and you experience something.
Absolutely.
And I love how you didn't even like try to explain it. And you're like, it was enlightening, because I wouldn't know how to explain the feeling.
Yeah.
It was just,
every time it's tears to your eyes. Yeah.
I was crying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about it. I'm getting tears. It really was beautiful. Oh my gosh, Erica, this was such an incredible conversation. And obviously, like, we always have these conversations together, but I love that we're sharing it now with this community, because if they don't know you, which I know a lot, everybody really does know you, but you know, if they don't, they can start to experience you in all of your beauty and your magic. So thank you for everything you bring to this world.
I have to say the same right back to you. I'm beyond blessed and grateful to have you in my life. Truly. I love you.
I love you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And guys, tell us, what did you like? What was, I know there's going to be many things, but like, what was the thing that landed for you that just resonated with you that you get to hear? We love to hear from you. Make sure that you are following Erica. Erica, where can everybody follow your along on your journey?
On Instagram, I'm at incale.xcal. I also have the Instagram for the space now, which is the Space by Evolve. And I have my app, which is Evolve by Erika, the app. I would love to offer your community a free month. Maybe we could put that in the show notes.
Yay, definitely.
Yeah.
Oh my God, guys, jump on this immediately.
So we can put the code and the link there. And yeah, that's where you can find me. I'm always in my DM, so you can DM me. Let me know how you like that conversation. We can chat there.
All right, awesome. Well, make sure that you're letting Erica know exactly what like really jumped out at you too from this episode. And of course, let me know at Spirit and Soul Studio. You know, I'd love to hear from you guys. And share this with anybody that you feel like that needs it, that needs maybe a new tool in their toolbox, or maybe they don't have any tools yet. And you know, maybe it's like you're resonating with Erica's story. I think that it's something that we can all really help somebody else out with. So thank you guys so much for joining me on this episode of the Spirit and Soul podcast, and I'll see you next week.